Hey everybody, this is Clint. I am one of the personal trainers here at the JCA, and this is my Sit and Get Fit balance class. If this is your first time here, same as equipment as I usually use, just a chair, so we could use the back support for balance if we need to, a mat, preferably the cushiony kind, and a light object. This is just an air-filled ball, very light, so we'll use those three things and then our body weight. So, right from the start, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, just kind of getting our body ready for what we're about to do. Not a hard workout, but I like to work out while improving balance at the same time. So, if you need your chair, obviously use it. If you don't need it yet, try not to use it. We're just going to do a slow marching in place, but it's an exaggerate, getting the knees up as high as you can and then back down slowly. So if we go quicker, it doesn't require as much balance. So that's why we're going a little bit slower motion. Of course, if you need to hold on to the chairs, you can do so. If not, once again, posture's tall, slow and controlled motion. Just a couple more. All right, good. On this next one, it's not a balance exercise. But it does loosen up the body, so hands on hips, wide stance, make big circles. Yep, as big as you feel comfortable. Go a little bit in this direction and then switch and then do the other side. And switch, so rotate the other direction. And one more. All right, we're gonna do two more. This one's primarily upper body. So I'm standing in this direction so you can see, hands up close to the body. Slowly turn, reach, 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 reach. Once again, it's really important not to go too quickly on this. We're just gonna reach as far back behind us, as far back as you feel comfortable. So it's not a fast turn. All right, good. So this last warm-up, we're gonna do, once again, if you need the chair, this is your center line, the nose, sternum, navel. So what I want you to do is, we're gonna do both sides, so you can pick a leg. Go across that center line, up, out, and open up the hip. Cross that center line, up, out, and away. It's good for the abs, works that leg, and of course the leg I'm standing on, it's also hitting the hamstrings and the glutes. Just getting those large muscle groups moving. Helps to get the heart rate up a little bit. My most physical activities, if you're a little bit warmed up, generally better performance. And switch. All right, same thing on the other side. So I'm coming across, up, out, opening up that hip. I want to go in as big of a circle as you feel comfortable. And two more. All right, good. On this first exercise, we'll use the chair again. And as with most of the exercises, I'm only going to do one set of each. Of course, if you want to do more than that on your own, you're welcome to. But the leg that's standing closer to the chair, that's the one I'll be standing with. You don't want to lock out the knee though. It's bad for the knee and it's bad for balance. So this first one, maintaining good posture, I'm gonna raise my other leg up as high as I feel comfortable. Now as I come down, try not to touch the floor. If you do, it's fine, but I wanna work the muscle more while helping balance, as opposed to working the muscle less and helping balance. So it will fatigue quicker because my leg weighs something, and so it'll start to burn a little bit in the quad muscles. But that's okay, nothing's wrong with getting a workout while we're improving our balance. Of course, course, for safety's sake, if you need to put that foot down, then of course do so. And switch. So you, of course, don't have to move your chair. I'm doing so for the video or for your vision, your view. Up and down. So how high you go on this one isn't nearly as important as just simply going through your range of motion and trying not to rely too heavily on the chair, because we don't want to create speed or momentum. That kind of hinders balance, but also increases the risk of injury, which I'm pretty sure most people don't want. So always do these in a controlled motion. All right. Now we did the front. We are later on going to do the lateral to the side and then to the back. But on this one, we're going to do our squat variety. So even if you have bad knees, squats get a reputation for bad knee, but if you do squats properly like we're going to, it's not a bad one for the knee. All right, so we want wide stance. Now, this is the wrong way to do it. You don't want your knees buckling forward. You want your butt back, chin forward. That way my back stays straight, not to get confused with being upright. So my back is still straight, I'm just leaning forward, because this is compensating the weight of this. So I raise my center of gravity a little bit, go down. I want you to actually sit, disengage those muscles, meaning they're not directly pushing against the floor. Re-engage, so chin forward again, push against the floor as you raise. Down, so you don't want momentum to go forward, but you also don't want to try to go straight up because my weight's that way. I have to get my weight forward so I have enough leverage to press against the floor and up. Because technically that's what a squat is. You're pressing downward against the solid surface, which is the floor in this case. Nice and controlled motion. Once again, exhale as you lift the body up. Breathe in on the way down. Exhale and breathe in. And one more. All right, good. Shake it out. And the next one is also going to be squats, but it's going to be a different variety where we don't actually sit and take weight off our legs. The weight's going to stay on our legs the whole time, and it's going to require a different kind of muscle movement, similar but different, and you'll see and feel the difference. All right, so arms up, down, just tap, or if you can't go all the way down and tap, don't tap, and then up, down, and up. So as you can see, I'm leaning forward to compensate the weight, and then as I come up, I don't need to compensate as much, so that's why I straighten out the posture. And that's the proper execution of a squat. And I'm just tapping the chair with my bottom, so I'm not actually sitting. So these muscles stay engaged the whole time to support me and to help balance. So whether you're getting off a chair, getting off a sofa, or getting off the toilet, it's important to keep these muscles strong and coordinated so that those muscles talk to one another so you don't wobble and potentially fall. So that would be bad. All right, so we don't need the chair on this next one. We're going to come back to it. But what we're going to do is our heel to toe stepping. So each one of these is going to be down and back. That's one. We're going to do 3 of each, starting with the easier, intermediate, and then more advanced. So the key on this one is to maintain good posture, eyes up, chin up, and do the best you can. If you can't keep the foot right in front of the other, just do it slightly to the side so it's staggered. But the closer to the stance, the harder it is to balance. So you want to be safe, but always make it as tough as you can while being safe. All right, so my eyes are directly in front again, heel to toe, and a nice slow and controlled motion still, because it's not a race. I'm not in a hurry, not trying to beat anyone. All right, then we head back to this direction, same thing. almost there. All right, so to make this one a little bit tougher, and I did mention before, obviously chairs are smaller. If you have to use your couch, the back of it, to hold on to while you do this, that's fine as well. Just try not to rely on the couch too much. So the second round, a little bit tougher. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to slowly look to the left and the right, not moving my head in a herky-jerky fashion, but it definitely makes it more difficult as I do the heel to toe while turning my head. I still want to be in a slow and controlled motion and still try to keep my head upright. And you could probably tell in the video, I'm not as stable doing this way. That's because it's tougher. All right, same thing back to this direction. And really be mindful not to turn your head too quickly because that could potentially hurt your neck. All right, okay. Now, that was a little bit tougher for me than it normally is. Excuse me. So the next one's going to be tougher. This is the one we're going to slowly look up, then look down, and repeat that motion as we're still walking heel to toe in our straight line. So once again, it's really important not to move your head and neck too fast. You don't want to strain yourself because there's no point getting hurt trying to do these, because even if it helps balance but gets hurt, that's not a good thing. All right, now back this direction. Once again, slowly look up and down and back again. All right, how's that? Hopefully good. We will now need our chair again. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to move our leg in 3 different directions. Deliberately, meaning we're not doing the table one yet. What I'm going to do on this one is my knee up, extend outward, back to neutral. So this position here, take a mental snapshot. This is neutral. We always want to come back to here. So I'm going to then go to the side, back to neutral, foot back, and neutral. So you'll notice I'm leaning slightly in the opposite direction of my leg because my core is working and the core is full 360. So that includes the lower back. So to take pressure off my lower back, to compensate the weight of my leg, I'm leaning back in the opposite direction some. But just like the other exercises, not too fast. Front, neutral, side, neutral, back, and neutral. Good. All right, now do the same thing on the other side. Knee up to neutral, front, side, and back. Now, if you mess this part up and go to the middle first or back first, that doesn't matter. So you could do whatever order you want to, but always try to bring it back to neutral. The reason why is it keeps the core engaged and makes your thigh work harder. So I like to get more out of a workout without even having put much, I'm not doing any extra time, so it's kind of more bang for your buck, so to speak. So neutral, front, neutral, side, neutral, to the back. And of course, you guessed it, neutral again. So we do one more, front, side, and to the back. Good, all right. So now in this next one, we could use our light object. However, if you don't have one handy or you don't want to use one, you could always use your fist. This is simply something for me to track with my eyes. So to make it more difficult, feet close together. If doing like this is too difficult, just spread your feet slightly or spread your feet more if you need to for safety. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to track this nice and slow with my eyes as it moves through this diagonal plane here. However, if you have a bad shoulder, try not to raise it all the way up. You could, as you go down and as you come up, keep the elbow close to the body and then just raise your arm like this. Of course, if that still hurts, then just raise it as high as you feel comfortable, pain-free. But normally this, if you have a bad shoulder, is not going to be comfortable, so don't do that. Okay, so ball's in my right hand. I'm going to go to my left knee, but that's bad. That's going to hurt my back, so I want to stay close to the body. Bend your knees as far as you feel comfortable, tracking the ball or the object with your eyes. Nice, slow and controlled motion. So if you could go down farther towards the floor than I can, that's awesome. Do that. If you can't, that's fine too. Nice, slow and controlled motion. All right, we have 2 more of these. And switch. How'd that feel so far? Hopefully pretty good. If you do feel a little bit of dizziness, have a seat or relax. You don't want to feel dizziness when you're trying to do balance exercises, because the way we're moving, you can make yourself more dizzy and end up falling. So we definitely don't want that. All right, so we'll do the same thing other side. Once again, eyes on the object. As far down as you feel comfortable. And a couple more. All right, very good. Now we're going to put the object down. Now I will need my mat here. Now if you don't have a mat, you could use a pillow, but you may not want to step on it with shoes on. But on this one, same thing applies. The leg that's closest to the chair, that's the one I'm standing on. So what I want to do on this one, stand in the middle of your pad, knee up to neutral. However, I don't want to come straight down because I make contact with that. But that's a good thing because we're working on balance, not strength necessarily here. So what I want to do is go out to the side. That changes my center of gravity and then bring my knee up. Out to the side and up. And as you get more confident with it, try not to rely on the chair, but you definitely have to focus on what you're doing. And of course, the leg that's trying to stabilize is on an unstable surface. So that's where this is a little bit more challenging. But my handy chair is here if I need it. To the side. Yeah, there we go. Body's making those adjustments. Got one more on this side. And rest. Good. All right, now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Never want to be lopsided, so we got to do both. All right, so foot in the middle of the pad here. Knee up to neutral. To the side. Back up to neutral. Once again, slow and controlled, deliberate motion. You don't want it to just be haphazard. And a couple more. And one more. And rest. Good. All right, we don't need our mat for right now. All right, now this one, most likely for most, you'll need the chair. If not, that's really cool. But what we're gonna do, once again, it's kind of like a golfer stretch. If you imagine golfers knock the ball in the hole, they have to reach down and grab the ball and come up. That's what we're doing. And if you notice, then I'm not standing on the leg that's closest to the chair this time. I'm standing on the leg that's farther from the chair. Either way is fine. I usually do it the other way, but today I'm doing it differently. So what I want to do is my hand is here if I need it, which I probably do. So that side, that's the right leg, that's the leg that's going to stay straight to compensate for my upper body. So I go down as far as I feel comfortable and back up. So I'm not doing a single leg squat on this one. I am keeping a slight bend in this knee to help protect the knee, but I'm going down as far as I feel comfortable, all the way up, back to the starting position, and repeat that motion. Down and up. Now, even if you have to use the chair, you could always graduate from holding it tightly to less tightly to just with your fingertips. But once again, do what you feel comfortable with. But once again, always try to make it a challenge for you, but it still be safe. All the way up to good posture and repeat. And 2 more. All right, same thing on the other side. So once again, this is the leg. It's farther from the chair, but on this one, this is the one I'm going to be standing on. Down, fully upright, posture's good, and repeat. And you'll feel a nice stretch in the back of that hamstring, but it's also similar to a straight leg or remaining deadlift, so it's going to be strengthening the hamstrings and the glutes also, which is a good side benefit of helping balance, at least on this particular exercise. And 2 more. And rest. Good. All right, now we need the chair again. So we did the front, now we're going to do the lateral raise. And just like we did on the front, the leg that's closer is the one I'm standing on, and I'm going to try not to touch the leg with the moving leg, or not touch the leg, but touch the floor with that foot as I move. It's a little bit more difficult because you need more endurance, but that's okay. And I could always, if I need to, for safety's sake, put the foot down, or to make it tougher, not even hold on to the chair. Once again, do what you feel comfortable with. Two more. And rest. All right, you can shake it out. Yeah, because the leg that you're standing on, obviously it's holding 100% of your weight as opposed to just 50-50. So even though the leg movement is working, the leg that's supporting you is working as well. So once again, laterally, out. Trying not to swing, but just go as high as you feel comfortable, back down to the starting position. Yep, hopefully you got a little bit of a burn like I do. And 1 more. All right, so we're going to try to keep that burn a little bit. So we're going to do to the back. So once again, try not to overcompensate too much on this one by leaning forward, but you can a little bit. So we're going to go back and to neutral. Back. And try to avoid doing a curl of the leg. Try to keep that leg straight. And 2 more. And switch. All right, so now we got 1 more on the right side, back. Yeah, not too fast, not too slow. And last 2. All right, very nice. All right. Now we'll need our mat again. On this particular one, you don't necessarily have to have a cushioning one. Or even if you have a soft carpet, this will work. But this is a good one for the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. But we're also doing it in a way that helps with balance. So we're going to be on all fours, hands and knees. And so you can see what I'm doing, the hand that's closest to you, this is my left. I'm going to raise this arm up while raising my right leg. Now to make it a little bit more balanced, I'm not going to touch the floor with those sides as I come back down towards the floor. So it's up, down but don't touch. Up, down but don't touch. Try to keep your core engaged. On this one, because I'm lifting, I'm going to exhale on the way up, breathe in on the way down. And a couple more. All right, good. Same thing on this side. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because I know there's a bunch of kids right outside making lots of noise, so hopefully you don't hear them. But it's okay, they seem like they're having a good time. Up and down. Once again, exhale and breathe in. And two more. And rest. Very good. All right. So we don't need our mat anymore. So hopefully that went well for you. You could always modify it some to make it a little bit easier if you need easier, or tougher if you need tougher. All right. So on this next exercise, I'm going to do a variation of a skater jump. The first one's not a jump at all because it's going to be easier, and then I'll graduate to more tough. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our back leg, that's the one we're not standing on, go behind us, but not just behind, it's back and to the side. So you go back as far as you feel comfortable, so you will have to bend this forward leg, back to neutral, same thing other side. Back to neutral, so as you can see, I'm lifting back up to straighten my posture, down, up. So I'm not going directly to the side or just back. I'm trying to make a combination, almost like a 45-degree angle where I go back and to the side as far as I feel comfortable. And I am touching the floor with that back foot on each of these. And you could use a chair if you need to. Hold on to it. All right, so the next step up from this one, exact same move with the exception that I'm not touching the floor with that back foot. So I go back, try not to touch until I have to switch feet. Try not to touch. See, I went too quickly, but I had to do that to regain composure. So it is tougher when you don't touch with that back foot. And it probably was awkward because I went too fast. So it is important to, once again, stay slow and controlled as opposed to quicker and a lack of control. All right, good so far? All right, so the next one, we'll start the jumping part of the skater jump. But the way I'm gonna do it, similar to the very first one, when I jump, I am gonna touch the floor with that back foot. We'll do a few reps of that one, and then we'll do the one where we go all out, where we do it without touching with the back foot. However, if these two were too difficult for you, then stick with the first two, or holding on to the chair, whatever. Once again, that's a challenge, but still safe. All right, so now I'm gonna jump. I am allowing myself to touch for now. So in this one, you don't have to go as fast as I can, or as I'm going. You can go faster if you need to. All Alright, so I know it's not your typical balance, but a lot of agility exercises require balance, which is makes the, you have to be agile. So once again, it's just another type of balance, a little bit tougher, but this time I'm not going to touch with the back foot. And if you try this one, you'll definitely see how it's more difficult, but don't touch. Yep, and don't forget to breathe. Couple more. Alright, good. Hopefully you survived that one. We'll grab our chair. We're going to do the tabletop as promised earlier. Well, technically I didn't promise, haha. I just said we were going to do it, so I don't want to be called a liar, so we're going to do it. So I call it tabletop. I don't know if this is what the official name of it, but imagine a 180 coffee table. So when you put your foot on it, even though we're not at home putting our feet on the furniture, you got to stay at that level, because as your leg gets tired, you're going to want to drop your foot. That's where the tabletop comes in. It's a visualization. I don't want you to drop your foot. So if you raise it too high to begin with, you're most certainly going to drop it. So pick a level that's challenging, but not too tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my leg. I can lift higher, but this is challenging holding it. So I want to go in a full 180 degrees, not letting the foot drop if I could help it. Now on this one, because I'm not going in and out back to neutral, I am leaning a lot more in each direction to compensate the weight of the leg to help protect my lower back, so that doesn't work as hard. Because it's still working as well as the rest of your core. I just don't want to overtax it or require too much from it. All right, one more on this side. And down, good. All right, try right leg now, or if you just did the right leg, do the left. So our imaginary table, and begin. Once again, try not to let that foot drop. Of course, you're not in trouble if it does, it's just, that's the goal. Not letting that foot drop. Of course, I have to use a chair, but I'm trying not to rely on it too heavily, so that way my leg that I am standing on is working extra hard to try to stabilize me as I'm going through this funky motion. And one more. And down. Excellent. Alrighty, well, I hope you enjoyed the class. Once again, my name is Clint, one of the JCA personal trainers. This is my Sit and Get Fit balance class. Once again, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I see you next time, and enjoy the rest of your day.